Good afternoon. Thank you to the committee for the opportunity to continue in this process. My name is Steve Freeman, although many of my students know me as Professor Drew, and I appreciate the chance to share a little bit about my teaching philosophy, my approach to emerging technology like AI, and how I work with data and assessment in both the traditional and the online classrooms. I've actually had the opportunity to visit Santa Fe previously during a application process in 2024. I spent some time on campus, really got a good feel for the community, and I was really impressed with how the students and the college has a strong connection to the Gainesville area and its ties to the workforce prep and the university transfer pathways. I think that dual mission is something I value a great deal as an educator. All right, so question one, teaching philosophy and why I think Santa Fe is a good fit. Um, at the core of my teaching philosophy is really a simple idea that business education should be practical, engaging, and relevant to the real decisions that students are going to make and they're going to face in the workplace. Many students walk into these introductory courses thinking it's going to be all about abstract theory. My goal is to help them realize very quickly that business concepts show up everywhere in the way organizations make decisions, the way teams function, how products are marketed, how even entrepreneurs identify opportunities. So my classroom approach really focuses on three key things. First is context. Students learn concepts more effectively, I think, when they can connect them to real organizations, real industries, and even real decisions. So I try to use current business examples, industry reports, some practical scenarios that help ground these theoretical concepts into something a little more tangible for the student. Second is participation and discussion. Even in courses that cover foundational material, I'm trying to create an environment where students are actively thinking and contributing rather than just passively receiving information, right? Just sitting for hours and listening to lecture. This might involve some short case discussions, some scenario analysis, or even simply asking students to think about how a business leader might approach a particular problem. Third, I think, is confidence building. And this is pretty important to me. Many students, especially in their first business courses, really don't have the confidence yet in their ability to analyze business problems. So my job is to help them build up that confidence step by step. So that by the end of the course and by the end of their term, they really feel more comfortable evaluating business decisions, maybe interpreting some data, and communicating those ideas. And I think that Santa Fe students are particularly well aligned with that philosophy. From what I've seen in my time visiting the campus, Santa Fe serves a very diverse student population, with some students preparing for the transfer to their four-year program, many of whom through the University of Florida pipeline, and while others are pursuing workforce-focused degrees that may lead directly to a career. This mix is pretty exciting, I think, as an instructor. Transfer focused students really want that strong academic foundation that's going to prepare them for those upper level courses they're going to see down the road. Whereas the workforce focused students really want practical applications and some of these skills that they can use immediately in their job or the job they want to go to. And I think that business education really sits at an interesting intersection of those two goals. Because of that, I think Santa Fe is an excellent environment for the kind of teaching that I enjoy most, helping students see business concepts and how they translate into real organizational decisions and career opportunities. All right, question two is how AI has affected teaching. And I think artificial intelligence has definitely changed the landscape of higher ed. And like many instructors, I spent quite a bit of time thinking about how to approach this responsibly. My general philosophy is that AI is a tool that students are going to encounter in their careers, whether we like it or not. Ignoring it entirely isn't going to prepare them for the world that they're going to be entering. However, that doesn't mean that unrestricted use is okay either. So in my courses, I try to take what I describe as a guardrails approach. I make it very clear to the students that I think learning and their ability to think are the priorities. So assignments are designed so that students demonstrate their own understanding of the material, and in many cases need to apply concepts to specific cases or numerical examples that are going to require their own interpretation. Where AI can come in handy sometimes, or play a role, I suppose, is early in the thinking process, right? They could use for some brainstorming ideas, maybe explore some initial approach to a problem, or generate some initial outlines. But when it comes to graded academic work, I think that students must demonstrate that their own analysis and their own reasoning is that component. So this approach really opens up more productive conversations as well about academic integrity, critical thinking, responsible technology use, which are all very important professional skills. Um, so in practical terms, I think it's also encouraged me to design assignments that really emphasize on application rather than just information recall. So students are going to be analyzing a particular scenario or interpreting data. It's going to become too, um, it's going to be, I think, difficult for them to outsource a lot of that process to an automated tool. So it's really focused on their own interpretation. So in this sense, I think AI has pushed instructors, myself included, to become more intentional about how we structure assignments and how we really grade and focus on those assessments. Question three, how does data analytics become incorporated into my teaching, or how is it incorporated in teaching as a whole? I think even in introductory business courses, students should become comfortable with interpreting basic data, because business decisions are increasingly data driven. And students who can understand even some of the most simple financial or operational information are going to have a significant advantage to others in the workplace. So in my courses, I try to incorporate data analytics in a couple of accessible ways. One common approach is through the use of industry reports or business intelligence summaries, right? This way, students can analyze short reports about a company or an industry and then discuss what those numbers really mean, right? They can look at some sales growth, maybe, or market share adjustments and shifts. Talk about operational cost changes, right? What some of those things will mean for decisions that are going to follow. I also try to incorporate some basic financial modeling and case analysis. This certainly doesn't mean that we're going to get into really advanced statistical work, especially in an introductory level course. But it does mean that we're trying to help students understand exactly how numbers play in forming decisions, right? So we want to make sure that we're really getting a grasp of that. So let's say students are going to look at a scenario where a company is evaluating a couple of different product strategies. So we're going to analyze costs, some revenue, even some basic break-even points. Again, the goal isn't to calculate the numbers as much as it is to interpret what those numbers would imply for management making decisions, right? So getting there, but laying some of the foundation for advanced work coming later. So by integrating some of these exercises, they begin to see that data isn't something that just analysts work with, right? Even managers, everyday employees are going to be using this information about making decisions about pricing, marketing, potential investments, right? So this work really, again, lays the foundation that they can use as they get to that more advanced coursework down the road into statistical analysis and things of that nature. Because that's not my wheelhouse, to be honest. So I can give you the understanding, but I'm not going to deep dive statistics with students. in most cases. All right, question 4. How do we assess in the online courses, especially in an asynchronous environment? In my experience, teaching asynchronous online courses, particularly in the undergrad levels, I think careful course design is essential uh, to ensure that assessment is both fair and meaningful. So most of my online classes that I've taught have been undergraduate, with approximately 30 to 35 students delivered primarily through Canvas. Um, and within Canvas, I typically structure courses around weekly modules that are going to include some reading, short lecture content, or recorded videos of those explanations. We're going to include the PowerPoints that the publishers create. We'll do some discussion activities and again, add some graded assignments in there along the way. Assessment usually includes a couple of components. First, obviously, is the discussion board. This is where students get to apply the course concepts into some real world examples or use a short business case. These discussions are going to encourage the student to really think critically about the material and help them engage with their classmates, which is also going to help build some of those soft skills we like to talk about at our meetings, right? Secondly, I think applied assignments or short analytical exercises are important. These might involve, again, interpreting data from a case, analyzing a specific scenario, or evaluating a decision that's been made, right? These allow the students to demonstrate their understanding of the material in a more open-ended way. Third is we can incorporate quizzes or exams. Often these are supported through the publisher LMS. And I've worked with several publishers that work directly with Canvas, which is super awesome for importing. This also allows automated grading, so students get their results in real time, which also allows them some ability to know where they are pretty quickly. Across all these components, I think the goal is to create assessment that's balanced, where students can demonstrate both their comprehension and practical applications. In addition to Canvas, I've worked with, let's see, Blackboard, D2L, Angel. Um, these are all have all helped me, I think, really give a good understanding and adapt to different institutional environments and different particular course structures. Regardless of the platform, the core principles I think are going to remain the same. Assessment should not measure not only what a student can remember, but how they can communicate effectively what they've learned. I think that's important. So, in closing, I just want to say that I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you through the use of this video. I think Santa Fe has a great reputation for student-focused education and for serving an important role in the Gainesville community, and I would love the opportunity to contribute to that mission. Thank you again for your time and consideration. I look forward to talking with you again, and possibly visiting the campus again in regards to this role. Have a great day. Thank you.